Hi, I'm Richard from Early Retirement Wanderlust, and it is the first Thursday of the month, so it's time to talk all things well-being. Now, I don't know about you, but everywhere you look, there always seems to be people offering that perfect solution to a perfect early retired life, whether it be a 30-day program, a quick hack, or a miracle cure. But here's the truth. In retirement, just like normal life, there is no quick fix. Health, happiness and security are not going to be solved with some miracle cure or magic button. They come from consistency, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. It's about doing the small things every single day, even when no one's watching or no one's applauding your efforts. Welcome back to Wellbeing Thursday, and it's a little bit different today because for a variety of reasons I haven't got a book review to do. Over the course of the year we try and cover a lot of books, but as you know I've been out in Europe, and as soon as we got back into the country we've been supporting Jackie's mum in her knee op and her knee op rehab, which is going really well. So no book review today, but I thought I'd do something a little bit different because I've been thinking about this concept for a while, and I think this is the right forum to share it with you guys. It is only my own thoughts, but it's all to do with consistency and the effect of being consistent in our early retired lives. And I think the thing that sparked my thinking about all of this was a quote from the Iron Cowboy, James Lawrence. It just popped up on my social media feed a few months ago actually, and it just resonated, and it's something I'd love to share with you. The only thing that works is showing up and doing the work. Not just when it's fun, not when it's convenient, but over and over again, when no one's watching and no one's clapping. Progress doesn't come from hype, it comes from reps. Now, if we're looking at the Iron Cowboy for his credentials, James Lawrence is a bit of a legend in terms of the endurance community. He completed 50 Ironman triathlons in 50 days in each of the 50 states of America. And then he wasn't satisfied with that. And his next challenge, he did 101 Ironman triathlons on consecutive days. Now, for me, that goes way beyond physicality, and it's all to do with mindset. And I'd never really heard of the guy before, but I think the quote that I shared with you is equally applicable to the whole of life, but also to early retired life. Now, I'm not going to advocate that we all go out and start doing incredible physical feats and think about doing Ironmans back to back, because that is just for the ultra elite. But I think in terms of mindset, we've got a lot to learn, and I think we can apply a lot of the thinking from that particular quote into our early retired lives. We get asked so many questions from the early retired community about our YouTube channel and our YouTube project, because if you're new to the channel, we started our YouTube when we stepped into early retirement, and we'd never done anything like it before, and it put us completely outside our comfort zone, and it continues to do that, but it's a daily challenge and it's a daily opportunity for learning. A lot of people are certainly intrigued about the idea of this secret sauce as to whether there's something that you can apply to whatever project you're working on that is going to offer you a quick fix or a solution or a shortcut. And in reality, from what we've experienced in life and also in our early retired life, there is no quick fix. It's about showing up day in, day out and being consistent in your efforts and just not quitting. And in preparing for this video, I thought I'd do a little bit of research around YouTube. And did you know that there are over 100 million YouTube channels? 51 million are active YouTube channels. However, the next set of stats really surprised me. That only 9% of those channels have over 1,000 subscribers. And remember, 1,000 subscribers is like the big benchmark that you have to leap through in order to get monetized on YouTube. And then the attrition rate continues because there's only 4.8% of channels that make it over 10,000 subscribers. And then a tiny proportion, 1.5%, make it over 50,000. Now, we're not there yet, but it was something that we weren't aware of. And I think statistics like that are just a prime reason why so many YouTube channels come and go within the first few months. And those that stick around and those that show that consistency and that resilience to keep going and to keep producing when people aren't looking and people aren't applauding you, that's the key to a successful YouTube. Now, I'm not here to talk just about YouTube because that's just a prime example, and I think we can take this principle of consistency and look to apply it into our early retired lives. So what changes when we move from working life into early retirement, and why is consistency so important in this next phase of our lives? Now, I'm probably going to butcher this quote and I can't really attribute it to anyone, but it's about how water hollows out the stone, and it's not done by brute force, it's done by gentle consistency over a number of years. Early retirement and retirement is meant to be a time of excitement and invigoration. It's definitely not a time to continue the grind from work, and anything that we do in our early retirement shouldn't feel like it's a grind. We've moved away from those feelings when we moved away from work. But what is important in early retirement is maintaining the things that are really important to us. So our health, our relationships, and our purpose. And it's about doing small things every single day that are going to set us up to live the best possible retired life. And we've got 30, 40 and beyond years to prepare for, but we need to start laying the foundations for that right now and doing it every single day. When we stop working, I think it's perfectly reasonable to feel that we are going to lose a sense of focus, a sense of purpose, and a sense of structure within our day-to-day life, because we haven't got that. That is what work provided us with. When we move across to early retirement and our retired years, it's an opportunity for a fresh start. We're preparing for a new chapter in our lives, so we can look at what we value in our early retirement, whether it be our health, our relationships, or just leading a fulfilled early retired life. And then we need to look at the component parts and how are we going to develop those. And it's not about going for the big thing. It's about looking at small incremental changes that we can do consistently, day in, day out, that is going to provide a value to us and compound together to make sure that over the course of the next 30 or 40 years, God willing, that we lead a much more fulfilled and enriched retired life. It would be only natural to ask, if I'm going to do all of these things that are going to be maybe a little bit hard and a little bit challenging, what's in it for me? What are the outcomes and how is it going to improve my early retired and my retired years? When we're thinking about our health, one of the things we can do is think about the consistency of our movement. So every single day, try and build some sort of movement in, whether it be going for a walk, taking the stairs, over the elevator, anything to get some movement in, because the more we move and the more consistent we are in that, the more our movement is going to stay with us throughout our retired lives. When we're thinking about finance, we can think about consistently sticking to our budget, having a budget, regularly reviewing it on a monthly basis so that you know exactly where you are. And that means that you're going to have a financial longevity that is going to keep you comfortable in your retired years. In terms of purpose, it's doing something meaningful every day, and it's thinking about that role that we lost when we were working and what have we replaced it with. So it may be volunteering, or it may be spending quality time with the people that you love and the relationships that you're nurturing, or spending time on a hobby that brings you joy, but doing that every single week, every single day if you can, day in, day out, building that consistency and that sense of purpose in our early retired lives. If we're wanting to enhance our mental health and well-being, then there is nothing better than routine and consistency. Our brains love routine. What they don't like is surprises. So by being more consistent in what we do, we're actually helping our mental health along the way without actually having to do anything too specific. But then if we want to build mindfulness, or we want to build a sense of calm, or think about stress relieving strategies during the course of the day, by doing those consistently, it just layers up the support structures that are there for our mental health and well-being. So what are some of my top tips for building consistency in our early retired and retired lives? Number 1, start small. One walk, one healthy meal, or one phone call to a friend. Number 2, set a routine, whether it be a daily or a weekly routine. Our minds like routine and they like rhythm, and it brings peace to our minds. Number 3, track and reflect. Celebrate the small wins and celebrate them regularly. Look at the reps that you're putting in when no one else is looking and no one else is applauding. Number 4, don't quit. You might not see results immediately, but it's not about doing the big things. It's about doing the small things a lot and being patient and allowing the consistency to grow. And my top tip overall is to just remember, some days are going to be really easy, some days are going to be really difficult, but it's not about that. It's about showing up. And for me, that's the secret to building a rich and fulfilled retired life. So that's it from me. It's probably one of the shortest Wellbeing Thursday videos that I've ever produced, but it's something that I've been thinking about for a number of months, and it's something that I wanted to share with you because I really do think it's brought value to my early retired life. You will probably realise that my view is that early retirement and retirement is not a time to slow down. It's a new and exciting chapter in our lives that gives us the opportunity to focus on things that we've never really been able to focus on when we've had the distraction of work. Our priority is us, and our priority is making sure that we live a long and fulfilled early retired life. And that's all I want to get out of what I do on a daily basis. For me, my best life is not about those big wins that happen periodically. It's about what I do on a daily basis and those things that bring me joy every single day, because that, in actual fact, is what life is all about. It's not about those isolated moments of joy. If we can get those moments of joy happening every single day, then surely that's going to be a more fulfilled early retired life. And that's what I really believe in. So if you've got any thoughts on consistency, please pop them in the comments below. It is the best part of producing these videos, the discussions and the collaboration that goes on within the early retired community. And it is something that both myself and Jackie really look forward to in terms of reading the comments. But that's it for another month. We'll be back next month, perhaps with a book review, perhaps not. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, see you later. Bye-bye.